Hello and welcome to News in Depth here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Poland has announced it will purchase 3 Swedish A-26 submarines in a multi-billion-dollar deal, a key part of Warsaw's efforts to strengthen its Baltic Sea defences amid growing concerns over Russia. The submarines are designed for shallow water operations and can deploy divers and drones and carry torpedoes and mines. With delivery expected in 2031, the deal raises questions about capabilities, operational use and strategic necessity. Joining us now is Marcin Zaborowski, is TVP World's Europe editor. Marcin, welcome back. Great to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure as always, sir. So let's kick off with a soundbite and then I'll get your view on it.
Sure.
After analyzing the responses from the various countries, our team awarded points to the completed questionnaires and, in recommendation, designated Sweden as the first choice.
Okay, so what's this all about? Why does Poland need these things?
Well, I think there are strategic political reasons and there are clearly the defense reasons. Yeah. So let's start with the first one, the strategic, foreign security policy reason. Poland is increasingly facing northwards. So during the 1990s, the fairly early decades of this century, our foreign security policy was kind of, organized around the principle that we are part of NATO, part of the European Union, and also Central European state working closely with Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary. These days, when it comes to security and defense, we don't work very closely with Czechia, Slovakia or Hungary, which especially Slovakia and Hungary have become very pro-Russian, but we are increasingly facing northwards. And we are becoming, we are working closely with the Baltic states, which are essential in any kind of a NATO planning. All of the contingency planning involve cooperation between Poland and the Baltic states, and with the 2 newest NATO member states being Finland and Sweden. So obviously this is a strategic choice, whereby Poland is saying, yes, we are comfortable with that dimension. We want to organize our security and defense through the close cooperation with the northern and eastern states in the alliance. And that investment that you have mentioned now, which is not the first investment of SAP, also is followed by the investment of a Norwegian company in the northeast of Poland, the Kongsberg firm, the company which will produce the anti-drone system very close to the border with Russia, close to the Kaliningrad area. So we are increasingly doing things with the Scandinavians, with the Baltic states, less so strategically with the states in Central Europe.
Right. Okay. So you raise a number of points there. The first, of course, is the closer relationship with the Nordics and the Baltics, and we can understand that because, of course, we all share the Baltic Sea with them. So
yeah.
Plus, of course, Sweden is manufacturing Polish ships for us, or sold ships. But what about these particular? I mean, there are 3 submarines. Poland currently has 1. It has decided to buy 3, and they'll become fully operational in 2031. What are the roles of these submarines going to be? Are they going to be offensive, defensive? What are they all about?
All of it. I mean, the key thing about the submarines is that they bring the element of unpredictability to the predator's assumptions. Predator can, and in this case obviously that's Russia, cannot really fully be aware of where the submarines are and what kind of the area they may come out and change the strategic dynamic. And these Swedish submarines are, by the way, they are not even the Swedish Army, the Swedish Navy does not have them yet. They are so modern on a paper at this point in time, because they are being planned, they've been developed, but they're not being operational yet. They meant to be super quiet, operating partially on through diesel, but partially through electric types of powering. And they meant to be meant of stealth. So meaning that they would be very difficult to detect. They wouldn't be very big. They would be small, but easily maneuverable and extremely difficult to detect. So if Russians know that we have them, they would think twice or three times before actually coming to the Baltic Sea with hostile intentions towards us, because they wouldn't be able to detect these
Yeah, but the Russians are doing that right now. These things aren't going to be working until 2031. I mean, we've got a six-year gap.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, what happens in the meantime?
So the part of this contract with Sweden is meant to be provides provisions for something which is called the gap filler. And the gap filler means that the Polish Marines, not Marines, but what you call the
Navy?
Navy, Polish Navy, Navy members will be trained in Sweden, and also they will have access to the submarines which are currently being operational in Sweden itself. And these are the submarines like type Gotland, which is now serving in the Swedish Navy. So we until we get this newest state-of-the-art A26 Blekinge, we will be using other ships which are being currently submarines which are currently being used by the Swedish Navy. How
does this fit in? Because Poland has been investing enormous amounts in its defence. It spends the highest proportion of GDP of any country in Europe. In the European Union, it's 5% or nearly. How does it fit in with the overall strategy that Poland is developing for its defence?
Well, it's a missing element there, because for years now, Poland and the central command of the chief of staff and the people around them, they've been prioritizing investment in Navy and not in Navy, but in land force and in air force, and Navy was neglected. Was neglected to the point that Poland does not really have a very meaningful Navy at this point in time. Let's be honest about it. Even before the war, before the Second World War, in 1939, we had 5 submarines. Yeah? Today we have 1.
Right.
Right? So that just tells you the scale of neglect that we've been facing there.
Right.
So even this numerical fact, yeah. So there has been a lot of money going towards the equipping land force, that's a very big priority for a country like Poland, which does not have natural borders, and rightly so. Poland needs proper artillery. It needs proper tanks, armed vehicles. That's the priority, because, like I said, we don't have natural borders. Then Air Force is also very important, and then there have been, purchases of F-16 in 2004, now F-35, then also the Korean fighter jets. So a lot of money has been going there. And Navy in all of these calculations was neglected, because it's extremely expensive and it eats a lot of resources. And also that's a big question about whether it's compatible with other services.
Right.
Because
Tell me more about that.
Well, that was a problem with these 5 submarines that we had in 1939. We had, substantial number of submarines. A lot of money went into there. Then war comes in. The Nazis are invading Poland. Then the Soviets are invading Poland, and these submarines lack the support of Air Force and lack the proper communication. So they've been kind of wandering in 1939 at the time, they've been wandering around a little bit aimlessly. Then 3 of them were intern actually ironically in Sweden, which was neutral at this time. 2 of them made it to Great Britain. But they were not really hugely engaged in the defense of Poland itself in 1939. So that's super important that that this navy is part of the multi-services, multi-dimensional type of operations.
Right, so a combined arms type of thing.
Combined arms, yes.
Sea, air, land, all together.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the other things, of course, is that drones can be launched from these submarines. And as we've seen in Ukraine, there's been a lot of use of drones, and they've been very effective. Drones, mines can be laid, torpedoes, of course, and so on. So this is, it sounds like a completely new generation. And it's not just aerial drones, it's also underwater drones.
Yes, it's so underwater unmanned vehicles. These Swedish state-of-the-art submarine is actually prioritizing the deployment and the capturing of those kind of equipment. And the other thing, also important, though it may sound a little bit strange, is that these submarines are meant to provide good living conditions for the Navy members. Yeah. So because the current one submarine that Poland has on its possession is known for providing absolutely hellish provisions for the Navy. It's difficult to breathe. It's difficult to live there. It's people are running away from serving on the submarine, and the new one will be like Swedish Volvo, apparently.
It's like the Swedish Volvo, but smaller, I should imagine. I mean, it's very claustrophobic in submarines. I'd have thought. I've been in one once, and it wasn't fun. Tell me, who's paying for this, Marcin? How is Poland going to pay?
Well, Poland is currently on a shopping spree around the world when it comes to security and defense. For now, we've been spending more on security and defense than much wealthy countries, like, for example, Italy or Spain. And I don't mean in proportional terms, but I mean in absolute terms. Yeah? So our defense spending now is around 45 billion euro per year. And Italy, which has a population of 60 million, spends about 30. A lot of it is on borrowed money.
Borrowed from the EU, or
borrowed from the markets.
Okay.
Yeah? So some of it is predominantly is really from the borrowed money. But the announcement, we have 2 announcements today. So the announcement number 1 is that we are, signing this contract. We're gonna go ahead with buying these submarines, which gonna cost us something in the region between 4 to 5 billion euro. It could be probably more by 2031. It always is more. It's never is less.
Right.
But the other announcement for today is that Poland will be the biggest beneficiary of the EU finance plan for defense support called SAFE.
Right.
So over a period of, I don't know how many years, 5 or 6, Poland is meant to receive 44 billion euro from that in the framework of this program. So here is part of the answer for you.
Right.
So some of that Poland will borrow, some of it will simply get from the EU.
Well, I mean, 45 billion euros is a decent amount.
It's a decent amount of money, yeah.
So, okay.
But also the exposure to Russia is much greater here.
Right.
And we have the first line of defense when it comes to belligerent Russia.
So it makes sense. Now, the trade isn't only going in one direction, because Sweden's buying some stuff from Poland as well, aren't they? What are they buying?
Well, they are buying the launchers. That Poland defense industry is small though growing, and is known from having a good launcher called Pierun, which means thunder, which has been successfully used in Ukraine. And parts of that of a submarine development is meant to be happening in Poland. So Polish shipyards, Polish shipbuilding industry is meant to benefit from that too. And that would also include the transfer of technology.
Right, okay. Are the two deals connected or are they independent?
They almost always are connected.
They are connected?
Yes.
So that's going to mitigate some of the costs that Poland is going to face?
Well, it's also meant to show that, that this is a two-way street. That the defense industry, the Polish defense industry, would also benefit from that. That some technology will be traveling that way, but also it's to show that that strategic defense relationship with Sweden and formerly with Norway that I mentioned is deepening. Yeah, so the more defense industrial cooperation you have with a certain nation, the more there is a sense of obligation and cooperation going between these nations. And this is obviously where Poland is placing its bets. Yeah?
Right.
On one hand, very strong transatlantic relationship with the United States. And that's why we buy all these tanks and aircrafts and artillery. Billions and billions are going there. And then, a big investment in industrial cooperation with Scandinavians. So it just shows you where strategically this country sees itself.
And South Korea, of course, with all the tanks that Poland has
That's
bought.
probably more of the matter of, there is a political element here too, but it's more of the element of convenience, really. Convenience in the sense that Koreans could provide Poles with the tanks and with the aircrafts faster than anybody else could, including the Americans, at the time of need.
Right, now, this all sounds, very joined up. As a strategy, it all makes perfect sense. Has there been any resistance to this, as far as you're aware?
Well, this submarine contract is a juicy one. It's a nice contract for a lot of money, which can provide a lifeline to troubled shipbuilding industries in countries like, for example, Italy or Spain, or France, who have also been bidding for this contract. Almost any major provider of submarine wanted to attract the investment from Poland. So all of them really have provided the Ministry of Defense with offers. The fact that Poland decided to go with the Swedish offer suggests that that we want to build this strategic relationship with the Nordics, but it also shows that perhaps this is a best offer for our own defense industry.
Right.
That our own defense industry would benefit more from it, and also that this is the product is most suitable to the Baltic Sea, which is very specific because it's quite shallow.
Well, absolutely. Plus, of course, I was going to say the geographical proximity, but also the existing relationship already, with the Baltic, so with the Nordics. So it makes perfect sense. Marcin, unfortunately, we're going to have to end it there. I wish we could continue for longer, but thank you. It was great analysis for our audience.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that brings us to the end of this episode of News in Depth. But as always, don't go away. Lots more coming up. Goodbye.